All right, you guys, I am really excited because my next guest is an amazing woman. I actually met her last year about this time, around January. She came to one of my first events with Women with Vision. And she has just really impressed me. Now she helps me a lot within Women with Vision. She's part of my team. But I thought I would bring her on as an amazing guest just so you can hear her journey and exactly what she's created. She's incredible. Her name is Michelle Warnica, and I'm really happy for you to be here, Michelle, to share your story. Welcome to the call.
Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Yes. So first of all, I want you to start off with just telling me your story, telling me your background, and then telling me where it's led you.
Sure. So my background is I grew up in Michigan. I was just one of those kids that just always did everything. Like I just knew how to do stuff. It was kind of crazy. My mom told me I taught myself how to swim, I potty trained myself. I did all that. I just been like that since I was born. And my first job, I worked at an ice cream parlor. I'm going way back. My point is I've been in sales like my whole life. I really have never done anything else. My last, most of my professional career was in telecom sales. I started in the internet, when the internet was invented in the mid 80s, and did that for many, many, many years. And then I went through a whole series of, layoffs, ups and downs, and the tech bubble burst, the whole deal. And I was always fine. And I always told myself that if I ever got laid off, it was the universe's way of moving me along to something better. But I never had to really internalize that because I was never laid off until I was. And that was in 2015, I was laid off. And then it took me 6 months to find another job. And then I only had that job for about 6 months. And then I was laid off again at the beginning of 2016. So I didn't take my own advice. I stayed in the industry. I got another 6 months out of it. And then I was like, okay, this is not happening. I'm done with this. They're done with me. I'm done with them. This is no longer bringing me any joy. And so I decided, I decided to do some different things. I decided to be self-employed. I tried network marketing. I was very resistant to having my own business, even though I had my own jewelry business for probably 10 or 15 years. To me, it was just a little side thing. And I really didn't want to do anything on my own. And so I tried network marketing and making that into a business. And I did that for about a year and a half. And I made, I think, $3,300 in a year and a half. And I was working like full on, like I was 50 cold calls a week. I was going on appointments. I closed a really big deal, and then I only made like a couple grand from it. And I was like, this isn't working. This is not going to work. This is not the right thing for me. So then I tried another network marketing company, and I didn't quite get as far as that, but I was a couple months in and thought, no, this isn't working either. And so then I thought maybe I just need to get a job, but I'd been out of the workplace for a year and a half by that point. So I was kind of unmarketable, unhireable. So I did go on some interviews. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I knew I didn't want to do what I was doing, but I didn't know what I did want to do. So I was asking other people, and like I asked my sister, she told me she thought I should be a recruiter. So I interviewed for that. And then I thought, why am I listening to her? We're not even that close. So then after 2 years of that, 2016, 2017, at the beginning of 2018, I thought, I'm just going to take some time. This isn't really working. What I'm trying to do, I need to figure something else out. And that was when I met you. I went to that vision board event, and I just decided that I read this book. One of the things that I'd been doing is, since for the past 2 years, was reading a lot of books and just listening to a lot of YouTube content. I mean, just hours and hours and hours and hours. And one of the things, I read this book called The Surrender Experiment. And I thought, I don't really know what I want. So maybe I should just surrender to whatever comes to me. Wow, what a concept. Great book, by the way. I highly recommend. So I did that. I surrendered. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was listening to a lot of How I Built This. I don't know if you ever heard that podcast, but it's fantastic. And I thought, maybe I could just work for an entrepreneur and I'll become indispensable and they will want to hire me. And then I won't have to, I was very resistant to having my own company. And so I started talking to friends, just socializing that idea that I would work for entrepreneurs. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I, like I told you earlier, I can do anything I put my mind to. I have a lot of skills. So I thought I would find someone to work for. I found through Facebook an acquaintance who was I thought she was a photographer, but it turned out she was a graphic designer, put on Facebook that she was looking for an assistant. So I reached out to her and she said, well, it's only $13 an hour. And I'm like, well, listen, I'm driving Lyft at this point, so I'll do anything. I just want to learn. And so I started working for her, and that was fascinating. I really learned so much about what it is to be a creative. And I helped her. I realized what a business person, even though I have a creative side, I am a business person at heart. And I helped her. And then I ended up getting another client through another friend, and who I'm still with her. She's a great she's my favorite client. And I've spent a year last year working with creatives mostly, doing whatever they needed doing, and like laundry, paying bills, making phone calls, setting up their schedule, booking travel, project management. I've done a lot of stuff. And what's been great about that is I found out what I like and what I don't like. If you don't know what you want to do, it's really great to just try a bunch of stuff, because you'll figure out really quick what you like and don't like. The contrast will tell you. So that's what I've been doing. So the business I've had now, I guess about a year, and it just kind of has had its own life. It's been sustainable because I haven't really done much to market it, and I'm just working. I have a couple clients, and then I have my own stuff that I'm working on the side.
I love that. Oh my goodness. This is like almost verbatim my book, Woman's Side Hustle.
Because I read your book, by the way.
Thank you. Because it's so true. You just do stuff. Just get out and do something. You can't sit on your butt. You have to literally get out there and figure it out. So I love this. So the idea of your business really just came about from you just getting out there and just trying to do stuff that you knew you could do.
Yeah. I figured I can do, I can pretty much figure out anything. And I'm one of those people that's kind of good at everything. And that's why I never really learned how to work really hard, because everything came so easy to me.
Yeah.
So for you that things don't come easy to, like my sister, she's a really hard worker because she always had to be.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be that. I don't ever want to work that hard. I did that years ago. I'm too old now.
So what is the name of your company, by the way?
It's called Entrepreneur Liberator.
Entrepreneur Liberator. I love that, because you really do. You liberate entrepreneurs.
Yeah, but my tagline is, I liberate entrepreneurs from what they don't like doing or what they don't have time to do, so they can focus in their zone of genius.
Oh yes, I love it. And you say you don't really have to market, so you've been able to sustain yourself just by working with entrepreneurs and then just getting another client if you need one, huh?
Well, I have my own. I was a really good salesperson, so I did save a lot of money. So I am, I'm making enough to supplement that.
That's good.
And then I also have my jewelry business too, that brings in a little bit of money here and there.
That's really good. Okay, so what is your greatest fear, do you think? And how do you manage fear?
That is such a big question. When I first started this journey, fear was just, It was there. It was huge. It was like the King Kong. And so I really had to, I listened to YouTube. I started with like Tony Robbins, all these guys that you know. And then I ended up learning, being introduced to so many other amazing, I don't know if I want to call them motivational people, but just coaches that have really helped me with mindset, because it's so, so, so important. Because fear can be really, really overwhelming, especially when you don't know what you want to do or where you're going, and you got bills to pay, and everybody's asking. The problem is everybody wants to know your business. And then they ask you, how's it going? And you're like, oh. I remember one time I was heading out to a meeting, and the phone rang, and I answered the phone. It was my girlfriend. She's like, I haven't talked to you. How are you? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just start crying. I didn't even realize I was upset until I started talking to her. And then she's like, why didn't you reach out? I'm like, I didn't even know I was upset until you asked me, how I was. That's a big question. How are you? Be careful, who you ask that to. So I really have, I don't get fearful very much anymore. To me, fear is a sign of something that I need to do, because fear, if you can, if you're afraid of something, that's probably something that you need to do that will help you to grow.
Love it. I love it. So what are key activities? So when I met you in 2018, you were doing some really impressive things to me. And you already mentioned about doing YouTube and reading a lot of books, doing personal development, and you were just doing a lot. And I remember, and matter of fact, I've learned a lot from you, Michelle, because you always seem to know all this stuff. You always know the newest and greatest meetup groups, and you always know the newest and greatest books that are coming out, and this, this website, and so you're just really looking, and so what are some key activities you would recommend other entrepreneurs to invest their time in?
Well, one of the things that I did, it's been super, super helpful to me, was when I was in telecom, I was, because I'm in sales, people are super important to me. And I was very, I don't want to say involved, that's not the right word, but I had a strong peer group. So even when I was I didn't really ever interview for a job. It was just like, oh, call this person, they need someone, and I'd get hired. And so when I left that industry, I felt very lonely, and I really wanted to create community. And so I started going to meetup groups, women's entrepreneur groups, and I didn't know what I was doing. Like I said, I did that network marketing thing for a while. There was a point where I'd show up every other month with something new that I was doing. It was kind of embarrassing, but I guess people just admired me that I just kept trying different things. And I just kept going and going and going. And 2 years later now, I really developed some good friendships and some good business peers through those groups. And like I said, that's what's helped propel my business. And so I would say becoming involved in some sort of community is really, really important. I even started my own meetup because I was reading, so it's called the Spiritual Book Club, because I was reading so many amazing books and I had no one to share them with. And so I thought I would create my own. So we read a book a month, and we get together and we talk about it. And the book they're reading this month is actually The Surrender Experiment, my very favorite book. And now I've read it twice, and it's even more my favorite the second time. So I've just really surrendered to that. So having a community is super important. Also, reading books. I never was a reader. I can tell you, one year I set a goal to read a book a month and thought I never would do that. That's so out there. And now I probably read 3 books a month.
Wow.
What I learned was that reading makes me sleepy. As soon as I start reading, I want to fall asleep. So I just do Audible, and then you can listen, put on a book while you're, cleaning your house or getting ready in the morning or driving somewhere. And YouTube has so much free content, and you can, even if you have 15 minutes to listen to Abraham Hicks about, how to create more joy in your life, or whatever law of attraction message they're sending, I try and do that every day. So I think that that's really, really important. And I have become a really good resource because I spend so much time feeding my brain. I'm obsessed with feeding my brain, growing my brain.
Growing your brain. I love it. Okay, so a couple more questions for you. What part of your life experience, and I know you've had a lot of life experience, you share some of the stuff with us. What would you alter if you had the chance to do that?
Well, what I learned through this experience is that you have to keep learning. If you stop learning, then you die because you stop and then everyone else is moving forward. There's no such thing as standing still. You have to continue to always be moving forward. I didn't really realize that. And I never had, in all my years in telecom, I had one good mentor. You know, I can say I didn't really have a lot of good mentors in that business. And I wish I would have had somebody that would have mentored me and helped me to continue to grow, go to seminars and read business books and really follow the trends that were happening, because I was selling, you know, in 1997 style and it was 2017. So I really, really wish I would have continued to learn and grow as a salesperson over the years. That's the one thing I would have changed.
Yep. That makes sense. And you read so many books now. What book do you think would be the title of your life story?
My life story. She Keeps Rising.
I love that.
I like that balloon. You know that balloon at parties? It's like weighted on the bottom and you punch it and it gets down and then it pops back up. And then you punch it again and it pops back up. That's really my life story.
That's you. That's really great. That's really great. She Keeps Rising. Oh my goodness. Don't forget that, because you got to write that book.
I am. I'm going to write the book. I'm actually going to start blogging any day now.
I love it. So, you have the Entrepreneur Liberator, and then you also do some other stuff on the side. So tell me a little bit about your jewelry line.
Yeah, I make jewelry. It's probably been the most consistent thing I've done in my life because I've had my business probably 15 years now. I was thinking about that the other day. I had a devastating breakup, another one of those punches to the gut. And I was really, that breakup led me to crystal healing. I did a lot of work with crystals. And I really, really am a firm believer in using crystals to help energize whatever your intention is, or whatever your transformation is, or whatever your healing is. There's a lot of energy and messages in them. And so as I became obsessed with these crystals, I bought so much jewelry from my teacher. And then I thought I really had a creative hole that I needed to fill. And I saw online a jewelry making class. So I went there and just fell in love with it and started making jewelry out of crystals. And I've been doing that now for about 15 years. My business is called LA Crystal Creations, and it's on Etsy. And I'm going to be, I just did my first public show after 15 years. I sponsored an event, a couple events a couple weeks ago, and got really good feedback on it, and plan to take it on the road, do some other, I don't know what I'm going to do, some events this year. Maybe some home parties, because I used to do a lot of home parties when I first started.
Yep.
Where you just go to someone's house and invite your girlfriends over for wine and cheese, and then I set up my jewelry and I can help them with the crystals, because all crystals bring energy and healing.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Michelle, it has been a blessing to know you. It's been a blessing to have you a part of my team, because you are liberating this entrepreneur over here. And so it's been great. And tell us where we could find you on social media.
Well, I'm on Facebook, Michelle Warnica. And then I also am on, and that's Warnica. A lot of people don't know how to spell it. And I have the Spiritual Book Club also on Meetup. It's the Spiritual Book Club. And I also have a Instagram under LA Crystal Creations, one word.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. And I look forward to, of course, seeing you at many of our events and probably talking to you in every single day for the next whatever time. All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.